What I'd like to do now is show you some features of the software that can make your life easier when you're working in your project. The first one is hotkeys. Hotkeys allow you to hit a button, a number, or a letter, or possibly a combination. You can use Alt, Control, Shift in any combination with the letter. And they perform an action. And let me show you an example or two of this. For example, I have things hotkeyed like M. If I hit the M button, notice that I brought in an Mlin. I'm going to type a Control Z to get that out of there. I hotkeyed my windows a little bit, so if I do a V, you can see my Windows tile vertical. H, my Windows tile horizontal. A, all my windows close. How did I do that? What I do is if you follow my cursor to the top under Tools, we bring up the Hotkeys menu. On the upper left here are the various categories, and then the actions you can do are under them. And so, for example, if I go to Window, and I select Window Tile Horizontal, and I come over here to the right, press the new hotkeys, I'm going to make a hotkey for this. Now, I'm not going to hit the backspace key or the delete to get rid of the none. It will go away automatically. For example, if I hit Q, it looks like a capital Q. Well, Shift Q is a different hotkey. Again, you can use Alt, Control, and Shift in any combo. I'm going to leave it Q. I come over here. You have to hit the Assign button. And then, if you scroll down, these are all of your assigned hotkeys, and you can see there's the one we just assigned. I hit the OK button, and let's try it out. I'll just open up a couple graphs here, and I hit Q. And there you go, the Windows tiled horizontal. So again, hotkeys, if you go under Elements, you can insert various elements. I insert resistors, capacitors, transmission lines very quickly with hotkeys. Can tile windows, and they're really quite useful. The second thing I want to show you quickly is scripts. We have many things you can script in the software. Scripts are written in Visual Basic, and I know most of you out there are probably not going to be writing Visual Basic scripts, but that doesn't mean you can't use them. Because we have almost 100 scripts that we've already written for you. As a matter of fact, about 40 of these scripts shipped with the software. Let me show you one of them. If we go to our schematic, remember how we got rid of, for example, MSub by right-clicking and toggle enable? I can do that with this MT. If I come here, right-click, toggle enable, the MT is basically gone and we have an open circuit. I can go ahead and short it out. Say I wanted to short, I could bring my cursor over the green dots, draw a red line, and draw another red line like this, a wire. And you've indeed now deleted the MT and created a short. That took a lot of steps. Let me undo all this with Control Z, and let me show you what you can do with a script. I select the MT. I go up here to the top, Scripts, and under Schematic, Disable and Short. And this is literally a script someone has written, and if you look at the schematic, it shorted out the element. Can we bring it back? Yes. Now you can't bring it back with Control Z, but if you select the element, Scripts, Schematic, Enable, Remove Short, you're back. And that script just saved you a whole lot of time. We have scripts that do a lot of useful things. Recommend you take a look at them. Incidentally, you can hotkey them too. I have my software set up when I hit E, it enables an element. When I hit D, it disables and shorts the element. They're under macros in the hotkeys menu. Final thing I want to show you in simulation before we move to layout is tuning. Tuning is a nice feature that allows you to change parameter values quickly. Very useful when you're making filters of various kinds. For example, our little stub filter here. So let's get started with this. I'm going to go ahead and delete this subcircuit. I just hit the delete key. since we don't need it. Now, if you follow my cursor, I'm going to come up to the top and find the little screwdriver in the toolbar. Here it is, called the Tune tool. Click and release, and when I bring my cursor into the schematic, it has turned into a screwdriver. I go ahead and hit the width and length, and notice they turn blue. I'm now going to move anywhere that's blank, left click again, and I get rid of the screwdriver. Let's go back to our S1 graph here. And there we are. And I'm now going to bring up the tuner. And the tuner is in the toolbars at the top, is this slider. Looks like the old analog slider. There it is. You can see the width and length, nominal value, maximum value, minimum value, step width. And I'm going to start tuning on the length. And look what happens. The graph changes, and we're literally changing the value of that length, or now I'm changing the value of the width. It's very simple. Is it quick? Well, what it does is every time you move the slider, it resimulates. So normally you're doing this with linear simulation for very quick simulations. If you had a long harmonic balance simulation, you probably wouldn't be real happy with it. One word of warning. When you close the tuner, if I hit the red X here, it will change the value on the schematic. So I highly recommend you maybe save the project before you start tuning so you can get it back. While the tuner's open, you're always free to hit the reset button and it goes back to the initial value. But once you close the tuner, the action has been carried out. But what if you want something more sophisticated than this? You do have a long simulation. You want to save the data for all the parameter values. We have something called swept variables, which allow you to create a multi-dimensional data set, which I'm not going to have time to show you in this little video. But they're very useful, and then you actually could draw multiple traces, one for each value, change your x-axis, etc. We're back looking at our design flow graph here. And over on the right is the world of layout. And I've drawn a green circle around it. We actually have two worlds of layout. We have schematic layout at the top here, which is normally the world you work in. We're going to find out that a schematic often has a layout. Elements in a schematic create layout objects. You also can put just shapes in a layout. I typically call them dumb polygons or dumb shapes. They have no model. They're not in the schematic. And finally, you can bring elements in from artwork cells. So there are three different methods for getting something into the layout. Once you have your layout completed, you typically will export things to the external world, which you see up here at the upper right. And you can either send things out as DXF files, typically used by board and module people, or GDS files, typically used by Mimic people. So let's go ahead and go into the software and see how all of this works.